Good morning, Limitless CEO community, and welcome to this Limitless Brunch special. Limitless freedom is the topic of our conversation today. Let me see how Ali's doing. Get her in here. There we go. Morning, Emma. How are you? Here she is.
Good morning.
Morning, morning.
Good morning. How are you? Oh, Rocky wants to come and say hello. Whenever I say hello, he thinks there's somebody to look at. Hello. Here we go. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Limitless Brunch Special.
Limitless freedom. That's what we're talking about today. So this is actually part of a new series that we're going to be running over the next 4 weeks. So this is just part one.
What we stand for. We are the Limitless CEOs. I'm Annie Mortimer. For those of you who are new to our channel, I am the Mind Master. I am the Master Manifestor. I'm a lover of all things energetics. And I'm Queen of the Reframe. That's what I do inside the Limitless CEO. And this is my gorgeous partner, Em.
I thought you were going to say this is my gorgeous dog, Rocky, then, for a second.
My gorgeous dog, Rocky, but my gorgeous business partner, Em, above me.
Hi there. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who are meeting for the first time, I'm Em, and I'm the business growth strategist and brand creator inside of the Limitless CEO community. And it's my job to give you the vision, direction, and the action steps for your business to achieve the growth that you want to achieve, and do it in a way that feels really good to you and very aligned with your path. So we are here for part one of my Limitless Life series, my Limitless Life series. And today, our world, our brand pillars in terms of what we stand for are wealth, health, happiness, and freedom. And we wanted to bring you this special series on what those things actually look like when it comes to being limitless. Like, what does limitless freedom feel like? What is limitless wealth? What is limitless health? And what is limitless happiness? And how have we created a business that supports all of those things? And how can you also create a business that supports all of those things? So if freedom is something that you're really seeking more of, then you won't want to miss what we've got coming up for you today.
No, I think there are so many women I know in our world, especially those in our private containers and in our groups, have all said that freedom is their word for this year. And I know that last year, that this was huge for us. It was like, we've broken free from corporate, we've broken free from so much, but we want to feel more freedom. How do we create more freedom? We've already got freedom to run a business in the way that we love, but what else do we want to create more of? And I think what we're going to be sharing with you today is, well, firstly, the fact that when we actually ask ourselves, what is freedom? There is no one size that fits all. A little bit like diets and the way you run your business. There's no one size that fits all for freedom. It's on so many different levels. And we have really created freedom with intention. We've done it with a plan. And given that I'm working with the master of planning, the master of strategy, when I came in and said, Em, we want to create more freedom, how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? Em's like, we need a plan. So we've got the vision, and Em held this vision for us. What does freedom look like for us in the future? And we went through all of the different ways in which freedom was important to us. I think we came up with 7 different levels of freedom that we're going to take you through today, and share how we really intentionally, with absolute deliberate focus, created it on every single level. And that was something that Em does, because that's what she's so good at: the vision, the direction, the action, the path. What do we need to do? So, Em, what do I need to do? She's like, right, well, we're going to do this. But then it's also looking at it from my point of view and recognizing that freedom is a feeling. And how do we cultivate that feeling within us while we are taking the steps? Because one thing we don't want to do is wait for freedom. You're going to create freedom, and you're going to feel freedom. If you're always waiting for freedom, it will never come. You've got to feel it first, and then you feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. So I guess what we're really saying is that in true Limitless CEO fashion, we're going to be speaking to you about, like, what is the strategy that you need to kind of create that that total full freedom feeling. And then also, how do you energetically align yourself with that feeling as well, so that you can start to feel it right now as you're cultivating it. So here we go. I guess first of all, Ali, you mentioned just now, like, there's not really one definition of freedom, because I think it's very unique to the individual. And one of the first things we had to do was understand, like, what does freedom actually mean to us? And even as a duo in partnership, you have your own unique definition of freedom, as I do as well. But I think something that we did recognize, that you've alluded to, is that there's probably like 7 types of freedom that we wanted to feel and to cultivate within our life and within our business. And whilst we might have like slight nuances in terms of what those individual things mean to us, I think that these 7 things, and if you're watching now and you can think of another, then shout it out by all means. But these were the things that really covered all of the bases for us. And the first one, perhaps one of the most obvious ones, is time freedom. So how do we create a business that's like leading our own schedule, where we are spending most of our time doing the things that we absolutely love, and never feeling like we don't have enough time, or that we're in a lack of, we're not living in abundance with time, I suppose. Because I think a lot of women feel this lack around time. So for us, like, time freedom is a big one. Like, how do we create the time that we want to be able to spend with our families? How do we create the time in our business to do all the things that we love to do?
So what did we do, if our listeners are watching strategically, what do we do in order to create that time freedom?
Okay, do we want to talk about in detail now, or should we go through all of them and then come back? Let's
just do it one at a time. Go deep on each one.
Okay, so for me, from a strategic perspective, then, what I see typically that robs people of freedom in their business when it comes to time is getting stuck in this business model of exchanging time for money. And the problem with that is it's always going to be limited. Like, you're always going to be limited in that respect, because if you're going by the clock, you only have a limited amount of hours in the day, and you're limited by the number of people in your business, which for a lot of our clients is 1. So for us, if we were going to create time freedom, it was really about creating services that don't exchange time for money, and packaging up our services in a way that is exchanging value and outcomes for money, not time. And I think that this is such a game changer when you do this. We've got programs where, we've invested a lot of time up front. There's always a bit of time to invest up front, of course, in order to get back the time. But a lot of our programs now, they operate in a way that we have so much value and content and educational elements of what we do are packaged up. They're available in online portals where people can tap into those in their own time. There's that word again. And we're creating that once, and then being able to deliver that to multiple people. And then we get to focus, when it comes to the live element of our program, on the integration, and really like working with our clients to help them apply what they're learning to their business and actually get the results that they're looking for, rather than us spending time repeating the same educational content over and over and over again. So we've been really savvy with the way that we've created our programs and services to give us back more time to focus on integration, to focus on support our clients, and even through creation of passive programs as well. So passive income streams, where we are generating income streams that actually don't require any of our time anymore at all. And of course they did up front, but now we've created a situation where we're not creating this time for money trap. So if you're time freedom, it really comes down to your business model and how you're setting up your different services, and making sure that you're being really, really efficient with how you're spending your time.
I think a shameless plug here. This is the Well Balanced Business Matrix that created last year for us. When we set this intention, we want to leverage time. We set the intention of, okay, we are going to run multiple live programs this year, but we're going to record them with a view at the end of this year, We're going to put them all online for people to buy. And we don't have to be there if people want to learn from us. So that's exactly what we did. At the end of last year, we launched the boutique. You can go and find it, link in our bio. And on there are all the suite of all of the 12, possibly 13 programs that we ran last year, and people buying and tapping into those over time. So that has given us enormous amounts of time freedom to focus on what we want.
Yeah.
So I suppose from, sorry, Anne.
If every single one of your services currently requires you to be there in person, live, and you know that's filling your diary right now, then you're limiting the amount of time freedom that you can create in your business and your life. So yeah. I start by looking at your services and the way you're running the delivery, your delivery. That's how.
If you want to take a next step there, ladies, then I would thoroughly recommend Freedom Coach. Is in our boutique. It's what the ladies in our sisterhood, our year-long membership, are going through at the moment. We've had some incredible feedback from that. It's what the ladies in our ABBA Live program are going through at the moment. They're setting out their stall of what it is that they want to create to give them that time freedom. From an energetics point of view, then, for me, time is all about the relationship we have with time. It's a lot about, so much is about our relationship with it. And time freedom, you can give yourself time freedom just by shifting your mindset. And it's one thing that I play with an awful lot of the time. It's just like, I've got no time. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be late for the train. I'm going to be late for the doctors. I'm going to be late. But the minute you change your thought pattern to being, I've got so much time, I have plenty of time, I'm going to get there in time, there's so much time. It's your relationship time, and what you're saying and thinking about time is going to change the way in which you feel about time. So if you want time freedom, you have to cultivate that freedom with changing your thoughts about time. And there was two things I was thinking about this. There's one of my favorite books, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. The power of now is so incredibly important. When you're getting overwhelmed and frustrated and anxious about so much, bring yourself and center yourself into this moment now, and bring yourself here and just be fully present with the now, because there is only this moment. You can't change the past. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future. The only way to influence the future is the way in which you act, think, behave, and believe in this moment right now. That is the power of now. But I also believe, and I've had so many conversations with the ladies in our Boxer Energetics this week about, you know, the panic of now, deadlines, pressure. It's January. How many people have got like all of Christmas to pay for, holidays to pay for, you know, tax bills to pay? There's like deadlines of bills to be paid. And it's like, oh, the pressure of time. Now, the pressure of time can be really good in some ways and not in others. You know, for some people, the pressure of a deadline can be so incredibly powerful. They love a deadline. I'm going to get it done. You know, the minute I get a deadline, it's like, well, I'm going to do it. And some people do things in the last minute and they work that way. Other people don't work that way at all. So you've got to recognize the type of person that you are, because it can create panic if you're the opposite. A deadline can also create panic and anxiety. So for those of you who do like feel the pressure of time and it creates panic and anxiety, one of the things that I would often suggest, and one of the things that I do for myself, is like, lift yourself up, stop panicking about the now. So almost like remove yourself from the now and allow yourself to take yourself into the future when it's done. That bill is paid. You do not need to work out how. You don't even need to worry about that. You just know that it is. Remove yourself from the now and fast forward into that future of time and know that it's all taken care of. Everything is wonderful. You can use your imagination to create this element of beauty and freedom, to free yourself from the anxiety and the panic that's happening right now by just knowing that it's done. And that's been one of the most powerful things for me, is like fast forwarding into the future. And the minute you allow yourself to take yourself out of that panic and clouding yourself from finding solutions, if you can go to the fact that it's done, and it's been happening in our Voxer this week by helping these women come up and out and on and finding that peace of mind, the answers come in how they're going to create and cultivate what it is that they need to do in that time. So that's the energetics around time. In a very, very short little space of time, you can create time freedom mentally wherever you are. It's just your thoughts about time. I've got loads of time or I've got no time. It's your choice.
Great, love that. So there's a strategy, ladies, and there's the energetics around time freedom, both equally important. So the other type of freedom that's incredibly important to us is emotional freedom. as well. And I think, you know, both of us have always been really honest in terms of, you know, some of the struggles that we've had over the years with our mental and emotional health as well, and how we've healed that. So emotional freedom is incredibly important to us, like feeling secure and resilient in our emotional waves and being able to ride the ebbs and flows of business and life, and do so with compassion for ourselves, and having complete freedom to be able to express yourself emotionally and be in the emotional flow without feeling any judgment or shame for it, is something that's incredibly freeing. Like to be, for those of you that know about human design, I mean, I'm an emotional authority. And for the best part of my life, I felt like being emotional was a bad thing. And actually now I've come to embrace that as actually part of my process, my decision-making process, is that I have to ride the emotional waves in order to come to the outcome that's right for me. So emotional freedom is so important. And I think how, if I think about the women in our world, the women that we work with, through our private mentorship, through our programs, through our you know, retreats and courses, like, I think some of the emotional turmoil that I see the most is the emotions and the feelings of not being good enough, not being worthy enough, not feeling like they're being real or authentic in the business. And that creates a lot of emotional kind of ups and downs, where like 1 minute you're on fire, you're feeling really confident, you know, you're ready to go, you've got your strategy, and the next minute it's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Like, I don't believe in myself. I don't trust myself. You know, I don't know if I'm worthy of this. I don't think I'm good enough to do this. And these emotional waves that we're having to ride as women in life, let alone throw business into the mix, is something that feels really important to us to create that harmony and that peace and that emotional freedom around. And strategically, if I was going to give you a piece of advice from a strategic perspective, and something that we have done so beautifully in our business, is to create a brand that is authentic to who we are. It's authentic to what Ali and I are individually really great at doing, what we've come to master in our own life, so that we never have that feeling of not being able to, you know, to be able to deliver or to not be good enough. We've created a brand where we're never pretending to be something that we're not. We're just us. Like, what you see is what you get. Like, we are as real right now on camera as we are behind the scenes. And for those of you that have seen, we've actually just yesterday launched our new podcast, which is Life of a Limitless CEO, where we're taking you even deeper and diving more behind the scenes and sharing all of our real and raw and relatable stories of what goes on behind the brand, behind the business that you see on Instagram. So for us, it's like, if you're going to create a brand and a brand strategy to go out there and attract your audience, by doing that in the most authentic way, that's going to be so freeing emotionally, because you never have to feel like you're not meeting, you know, the expectations, or you're not feeling like you're not good enough, or you're not feeling like you're not experienced enough, or that people won't like you, because you've created a brand that's like so authentic that none of that matters. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. The strategy of emotions is creating something that you feel emotionally connected to. So it's about emotionally connecting with yourself so that others can emotionally connect with you through your brand, which is all about you. Yeah, I love that. So from a strategic point of view, it's all about creating authentic brands. From an energetic point of view, so the question I asked myself each time was, you know, how do we create freedom, emotional freedom? And I was thinking, conversely, that actually doesn't make sense, because why would we want to create freedom from our emotions when emotions are actually what makes us human? We are human bodies, you know, and it is our emotions that make us authentic, that make us who we are. So emotions are...
We're not trying to run away from it.
No, but when emotions start to cloud our judgment, when emotions are running ravage and stopping us from doing what it is that we want to do, then it becomes a very important strategic part of your business. And I always think that emotional freedom comes down from awareness. You know, awareness of our emotions can bring us emotional freedom. Stop trying to run from them, hide from them. It's about bring it all to the table. And, you know, from a strategic point of view, that's something that Em and I do. Every week we have alignment sessions. You know, how can we create that harmony with what we're doing, with the emotions in our body, those spaces to say what needs to be said. And the same with all of the women who come and work with us, either privately or on our programs, we have that space for you to say what you need to say so that we can move forward with our emotions. And I think when you look at emotions, I personally believe, and from my own experience, there are 3 types of ways of creating emotional freedom through this awareness. It's the first one is that there are going to be some emotions that you can let go of because they're just not serving you. It's that question of, is this true? You know, that emotion has come from a thought that's making you feel a certain way. And you talked about, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to talk about mindfulness. I'm not good enough to talk about strategy. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to talk about leadership. Is that really true? Probably not, because you're very, very experienced in whatever it is that you want to come in and talk about. So really let that shit go. That's just, it's not true. So let that emotion go, right? That's not serving you. Let that go. There are also going to be emotions in your body that need to be healed. It's not about fixing them. There are going to be emotions, you know, sadness is the one, you know, some pain. Disappointment is another one that often people come in and talk to me about. And you know, that's not one that you just brush or you toss aside. That's, let's honor that feeling. Let's spend some time to heal that. Let's talk about that. And so we can move it through. Emotion is an energy in motion that needs to be moved. And the way that we move it isn't to hide it, it's to allow it to come to the surface so that we can let it go. And then the final one is awareness of an emotion that you may just have to accept. You know, you can't bury it. You can't let it go. It's never going to be healed. There are some deep-seated emotions within us that are never going to go. If you've been through some particularly traumatic times, there could be a guilt. There could be a deep-seated sadness that will never go. I will always be sad about my mum dying. That is not something that I can let go. That's not something I will ever heal completely and fully. But it's just something that I'm going to accept, that every now and again, I'm going to find these deep-seated sadnesses that you know, that come into my body. So what can you do from an emotional, energetic point of view? Talking is incredibly powerful. It's something that Em and I do all the time, every week. What needs to be said? How are we feeling about that? What do we want to do? How do we want to feel about that? Bringing it really to the table about this awareness. Journaling, if you're in a business of one, almost like just allowing those thoughts to come out on paper, moving your body. If you've got sticky energy, uncomfortable energy, then you want to let it go. For Em and I both, you know, exercise is a powerful way, you know, really pushing your body, moving that anger or that disappointment through your body. Crying is another one, allowing yourself to move that energy. So from an energetic point of view, emotional freedom will come from actually allowing yourself to feel, to allow yourself to be human and to recognize and be aware of all of it. That's what's created awareness.
I love that. So actually, freedom isn't about from the emotion altogether. Actually about allowing yourself to feel all of the feels, because actually a lot of the time it's directing us. A lot of the time, like, our emotions have, you know, there's messages in there for us in terms of how we're really feeling about the things that we're doing, and it can guide us to where we need to be going and a new direction. So I love that. And as an emotional authority, that's like music to my ears, is to not have to
Exactly.
emotions, but to truly embrace them and use that as part of your direction and your decision process as well.
You touched on a really important point there. For people in our audience who may or may not know about human design, it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something I work with all of our clients on, especially from an energetic point of view. And you're obviously an emotional authority, so you can ride those waves of emotion and they mean something for you. I have an open emotional center. I have an emotional solar plex, open solar plexus, which means that I can take on the emotions of other people, which can be a really amazing thing as a coach, because I'm a real empath. I can feel it when, even if you don't know what it is, I can feel what you're feeling. And I often come to Em and say, you're feeling something and I can feel it. Tell me, let's talk about it. So it can make you an incredible coach, but it's also really important to be aware that if you've got an open solar plexus or an undefined solar plexus, again, awareness is so important that you don't take on the emotions. I've got sons who are both emotional authorities. Em's an emotional authority. James is emotions. They have a lot of emotions that I can often take on. And I've been working with my own coach to make sure that I hold my boundaries and recognize that those are my emotions to feel. Just thought I definitely that's brought me a lot of emotional freedom, actually, understanding my human design.
Yeah, 100%. For both of us, I think, for you to know that you've got the emotional freedom to not take on other people's, and I think for me to embrace my own and know that they're actually there for good.
What for you?
For me, they're there for me. Yeah. Okay, so the other freedom factor for us then is mental freedom, which I do think differentiates from emotional freedom. Like for me, like mental freedom it has a lot to do with having clarity, I think, of thoughts, and not being like stuck in your own head, like not overthinking, not, you know, not feeling like you don't know where you're going. I think that can create a huge amount of mental turmoil in life and in business when you feel like, oh gosh, like something's not working, but I don't know what it is, and I can't figure it out, and my head is constantly spinning with all these different ideas, and I don't know what to do next, and I'm not sure what step to take. Should I be working on this or should I be working on that? And I think lacking clarity, lacking vision, and lacking direction and action steps to take creates the opposite of mental freedom. And through, obviously, like this is massively part of the work that I do, because I work with our clients to give them vision, direction, and action steps. And for me, that piece of work that I do is so important because it's what creates the mental freedom. It's like, I don't need to second guess what I'm doing anymore. I don't need to go spinning around in circles all day long, not sure where I'm heading or how I'm going to get there. Mental freedom is knowing where you're going and, you know, have a plan. You know, I love a plan, but having a clear plan and having action steps and, you know, feeling confident that the things that you're doing are the things that you should be doing that are going to be working for you and getting you the rewards and the results that you're after. So for me, strategically in our business, what gives us both a lot of mental and is the mental clarity piece. We've got a plan.
We have a plan.
Vision, and our vision is so clear. We've got a direction. We know, you know, the direction that we're going on in order to meet that vision. And we've also got, you know, plans that outline even our day to day, our week to week activities. Always we've got the clarity in what we're doing and when we're doing it and how we're doing it, and, you know, the confidence that we can get behind the plan, because, you know, it's there to support us and then allow us to free flow and to bring our energy into that structure. You often hear us talk about the champagne glass, and for me, this is when you think of a champagne glass, like the mental clarity piece, having a plan is the same as having the crystal glass flute that holds everything together. And then we get to come in our individual energy, you know, in our creativity and pour the fizz into that. But we feel like we've got mental freedom and clarity because that container is there to support us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is one of the most important things that you've ever, well, it's your gift that you've given to me when I first started working with you in 2020. You know, it was, I have so many ideas and I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do that, but I don't know my direction. Where do I start? What do I do first? What am I missing? You know, and that's what you brought to me, that mental clarity of, right, bring it all to the table. It was almost like I handed you everything and you were like, right, we're going to make a plan and we're going to do it like this. And you've continued to do that for the last, what, 2.5 years for me in my own personal brand. And then now what we're doing together is, you know, we were able to take 2 weeks off over Christmas completely because we had a plan of what we were going to be doing on day one. But you know what I did on day one? I first came back and I was like, Em, I don't know what I'm doing. And she was like, we have a plan. And it just meant, oh, and I could relax into the plan. It's like, I know what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And then I just get to bring whatever I want to bring into that container, you know. So that's been amazing. That strategic plan created with that clarity and that vision, the direction, the action, the M that you bring. So what about from an energetics point of view? I think, you know, I'm going to guide everybody to come in and listen to me on one of our containers that we have created, which is all about freeing your mind on Thursdays at 1:30. This is when I really come in and help you create that mental freedom, because it's about freeing your mind. And the one I did yesterday was all about the limiting beliefs. And I believe that mental freedom comes from really looking at your mind, your thoughts, not just once a year, not just at the beginning of the year, not just once a month, not just once a week, but this mental freedom will come by looking at your thoughts and being so aware of your thoughts all the time and the impact that they're creating on your emotions, on your behaviors, on your actions. And also having the conversations. Em and I have conversations all the time that can really dive deep into that subconscious. So it's not only the thoughts that you're aware of, it's the ones that you're not aware of. Yeah. That is going to give you the mental freedom, because they're the ones that I always go here. For some reason, my subconscious is somewhere underneath here. It's getting really, really deep. And it's only when you start working with mentors and coaches and having the conversations. And I had one with my mentor this week, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize I was thinking that so deep down. But that conversation has brought it to the front. And now I know it's in my awareness. I can do something about it. So it becomes a daily practice. Asking yourself those powerful questions. How am I really feeling? What resistance am I having about the strategy, the clarity, the direction, the action I'm having? Do I feel good about this? Have I got thoughts about this? Am I feeling that I'm not good enough? Do I think that I'm not good enough? What is it that's going on? And having those conversations with yourselves or with your mentors, with me, with Em, whoever it might be, to find out what's going deep-seated in your subconscious that will set you free mentally and emotionally and energetically. I think that's really important. The two go hand in hand.
Yeah, like clarity, like having clarity of your thoughts is so powerful. Like without that, everything can feel very turbulent. Okay, so I think this also then ties in really nicely with the next one as well, which is soul freedom for us. And I think, you know, those of you that know us, like, we're an incredibly soul-led business. We really are purpose-driven, mission-driven. You know, we have created a brand that is based on what we believe is our individual soul purposes combined. And I think this is incredibly important with the work that you do. If you want to feel freedom on a soul level, then finding work that supports that thing that absolutely lights a fire inside of you, that, you know, you're excited to get out of bed and get to your laptop every day, because it's like there's a part of you that is just waiting to be unleashed through your work. I think this is what creates that like soul freedom, is being able to do the things you love in a way that you love to do them, that supports you to have the life that you love, that feels really, really good on a soul level. And I think it's one of those things that only you can ever really intuitively know, is like, does this light up my soul? Like what I'm doing right now, do I just have that like inner knowing that I can't really explain? And I think this was really interesting, because when we came to work together in partnership, we both had our own individual brands, which we loved, had grown incredibly successful businesses. And then this opportunity came up for us to join forces as a partnership and to combine, you know, our own, you know, our individual magic together and create something even more special than we already had. And so many people were kind of saying to us at the time, like, are you crazy? Like, you've got a great business, like you're going to throw all that away and you're going to start something new all over again. And the only way that I can describe it, and I know, like, I've had conversations with Ali in the past, is like there was just like a soul knowing that this was something better than what we already had. And sometimes you can't explain it, but it's just this like, it's this feeling that doesn't go away, that's constantly like tapping you on the shoulder. And I think that those, you know, that intuition is so important in business. To feel that soul freedom, you need to listen to that intuition and trust it, and know that whatever it is that you're feeling about that thing is actually guiding you in the way that you're supposed to. It's guiding your purpose, it's guiding what you're here to do. And how we bring that then strategically into our work is that we create a brand. We've created a brand and a brand movement that is led by a mission. It's led by a purpose. It's not just, you know, we're here just to do business coaching, to do energetics, to sell programs. It's so much more than that. It's much more about the bigger movement and the mission that we're creating. And for us, you know, if you're new to our world, the Limitless CEO actually stands for consciously evolving owner. We're redefining what it actually means to be a CEO for women in business, because we felt such a strong purpose and drive to to do that for us in our lives, and then to share that with the other women in our world, and to take other women on that journey with us as we become limitless CEOs. Obviously, this whole series is about becoming limitless. So for us, our work isn't just our work. It's like our work is driven by our soul and our purpose and our mission. And by being able to express all of that through our brand, so much freedom on a soul level.
Yeah, soul freedom, doing what you love. From an energetic point of view, I'm going to speak to 3 of the energetic wheels as part of our aligned business architecture methodology that we take all of our clients through. The 6 strategic pillars that Em takes you through, and the principles, and then the 6 energetic wheels, which are so wildly different for every single individual, but what really is going to light up your business, and then the impact that it has as you deliver the strategy that Em talks to you about. The first one I want to talk about is, you know, this reconnection to our soul and what is your soul desire. And it's the desire wheel from the energetics that so many people, and myself included, that often we shut down this ability to dream, the ability to desire, to really tap into not just what we want as humans, not what our logical mind wants, but what does our soul want? And you can only get that real connection by quietening out everything else and picking through a lot of the conditioning that we've been told that we want to have. You know, working through what other people think. You know, like Em was saying, so many people told us, oh no, don't shut your business. Why are you doing that? It's like, no, but my soul knows. And it's allowing yourself that space and actually allowing yourself to own your desire. Own your dream. It's okay to want more. It's okay for your soul to want more. She's been put here. I'm going to talk to women because we talk to women, but she has been put here to have an experience on this lifetime, and she's telling you what she wants. And you've got to allow yourself to listen to that. And coupled with that comes the fear energetic wheel, because alongside every single dream, alongside every single deep-seated soul desire, there is going to be a fear. There's going to be a fear because it's born out of the conditioning, the social conditioning, the fears of what other people will think of me. Oh, they're going to think I'm stupid. They're going to judge me if I shut this business or start down that. They're going to think I'm stupid. No, there's always going to be fears to work through when you have dreams. That's the shadow work that we do, allowing yourself to love the dream, follow the dream, let your soul be free to follow it, but walk with the fear anyway, because it's always going to be there. And then the third wheel that I think has been so incredibly powerful for both Em and I, and for so many of our clients who come into our world, is the understanding of your human design. Your human design really is the soul work. It's the spiritual work. It's allowing yourself to really see who you really are without the conditioning, or understanding where you have energetic blocks, understanding where you have been conditioned to not be yourself. And through the model of human design can really unleash your soul and how you're going to do business and what you want to do and the impact that you want to create in your world. So I love doing that work with people. Human design really, really changed our lives and the way in which we do business.
Yeah. From a strategic perspective as well, because it plays so much into your strategy as well as into your energy as well. So we create strategies that are designed for around people's human design as well. So not all one there isn't like a one size fits all strategy, because we're all so different. We're designed to operate differently, and human design is such an incredible like gift to us, both to understand who we are, and also like how we're supposed to operate, to make the most impact with the work that we do. So yeah, and Ali's quite a master of human design. So yeah, if you're not sure about your human design, know more about that, jump into our DMs.
Jump in our DMs.
Yeah, we can you can download your free chart on the internet, so we can direct you to get started with that. It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely rocked our world. It truly has. Okay, so the next type of freedom that was really important to us was location freedom as well. And I think having experienced almost 2 years of lockdown over the last few years and being so confined to the house, I think people are, just really now embracing and understanding the importance of not having boundaries around where we work, and the fact that we don't need to have boundaries. Like we're living in a connected world where as long as you've got Wi-Fi, you can work from pretty much anywhere. And I suppose that was probably for me like one of the big appeals of coming into creating an online business, 8 years ago when I first started out in this industry. It was, at the time, I was traveling a lot. I was wanting to, you know, see the world, and but still be able to, you know, to still be able to keep my business running. So being able to create the systems and the structures in your business that allow you to work from anywhere is also really important. And that's from a strategic perspective, having structure and having systems in your business that does allow you to literally take off and be able to keep your business running from your phone, like not even from a laptop anymore. Like we go away on holiday and we can, you know, still check in if we need to from our phone. Which isn't to say that we do always, because we also create, you know, a lot of boundaries around our time, of course, as well. But, you know, location freedom is something that just should be a birthright as far as I'm concerned. Like, strategically, we've got one system that runs our whole business for us. We can do everything from that one system, which we can access from our phone. And that means that we can be anywhere. And that doesn't need to be, you know, a million miles away somewhere tropical, although that is my favorite place to be. It can just be taking time out to go and sit in a cafe and have a different change of scene and be around some different people and different energy for an afternoon and not feel restricted. Like, we are talking about limitlessness here. So why would we ever limit ourselves in terms of, you know, our boundaries over where we have to be? So, you know, strategically, it's about creating those, like for us, what we've done is created a business model which allows us to be anywhere, in any time zone, wherever we are in the world, and have no limits whatsoever on being tied to a desk. For those of you that have had a corporate career previously, like we had, you know, I'm so pleased to see that companies now are even embracing this idea of hybrid and remote working as well, because honestly, it's not about where you are when you're doing the work. It truly is like that. That's not what, you don't make the impact with where you're working. You make the impact with, you know, the work that you're doing. So yeah,
this was huge for me, and especially as a mum of teenage boys, when I came to Em at the beginning of the year. So I want to be able to have location freedom. I want us to be able to build a business that means that I can be anywhere, you know, and still serve and support my clients and do the work that I love. Because yes, I do work from holiday, but only because I love to do it, but I do have boundaries around it. And that enabled me to, you know, coach our clients from the middle of the Camel Estuary in Cornwall. It's enabled me to coach my clients from a beautiful yacht in Greece, from the top of the mountains. You know, that is what I wanted to be able to create and support our clients with, especially from an energetic point of view. So from energetically, location freedom, there was a quote that I was recalled, and it reminded me, if we're going to go for you, so rather than physically, where are you, location freedom. It's like, I was thinking about my beautiful orchids. I've got orchids everywhere. They're pretty much the only flowers I can keep alive. And I've got them on my desk, and I've got them, you know, on my mantelpieces, and I've got them in some rooms and some in the bathroom. And these orchids flourish in some rooms and not in others. So there's a real awareness of your awareness of, where do I flourish and do I need to move my location? And that could be just, where do I want to work from? Do I want to work from the outdoors? Do I want to work from this room, that room? Whatever it is, you can move. And I would urge you to move if you're not flourishing in wherever it is or whatever space that you're in. But I also know that some people say, well, I'll feel so much better when I've moved house. I'm going to feel so much better when I've moved country. But this freedom doesn't necessarily come from moving locations, because if you are not happy, if you are not satisfied, if you are not feeling at peace with where you are right now and in your body and in your soul, moving physical location is not going to give you that freedom. So I believe that from an energetic point of view, is allowing yourself to feel good now. Allow yourself to feel really great in your body. And one of the things that we love to do is we talk about loving life, loving business, and loving yourself. Focus on creating and building a life you love, a business that you love, yourself that you love. Foster great relationships with yourself, with your partners, with your clients, with your family. And then you are going to feel free wherever you go in the world. And that, to me, is true location freedom, because you're going to feel good wherever you are. You don't need to wait until you've moved. That is me on my soapbox, all about location freedom.
Oh, do you know what? I love that. And I think that's really fresh perspective on this as well, because you know, you can take yourself to a different country, to a different, you know, physical location, but actually
change jobs, change business.
Or in, like, understand we're already in a physical body, like we're in this meat suit as humans, and experiencing that humanness in a physical form. But, you know, actually our soul is living within a body. So actually the most important physical location that we need to take care of is the one that we're in right now, wherever we are. I love that perspective. That's so good.
Oh, I am the queen of the reframe. I am the queen of the reframe, Em.
Gold stars this morning, Ali, on fire. Afternoon even. But okay, so next one I feel is like a biggie, big part of freedom that we talk to every single woman in our world about, is probably one of the biggest reasons women come to us, is seeking financial freedom. Okay. And you know what, I don't even know where to start with this. It's such a big topic, isn't it? But I think I mean, we've had experience of this, and I know a lot of the women in our world have experience of this, moving from a secure, stable job into becoming a business owner, an entrepreneur. It's like the biggest leap of faith you can take, and a lot of the fear around that is the piece around financial freedom and security, because you're no longer, you know, guaranteed that monthly pay slip, that income at the end of the month. And that for many business owners can be debilitating. And something that we have been very conscious about. Hello, James. We've got a...
He's on a slipper hunt. Apparently Rocky's taken his slipper.
So one of the things that we're very intentional about, and we have a lot of focus on in our business, and also encourage women that we work with, is to really focus on like having that financial director hat on in your business. And as much as we want all of these other types of freedoms, it should never ever come at the cost of financial freedom, of having that peace of mind, of that stability, of that security that consistent income brings. So strategically for us, we're all about creating consistent, stable, multiple income streams that enable you to get paid every single month in the way that you would have done if you were operating in someone else's business. That is just as important when you're operating in your own business. And from a strategic perspective, we have created a business model and programs and services that do that. They generate recurring income streams. They generate, you know, that bread and butter, that peace of mind every single month, that we know we have a baseline of income that comes in and that we're going to get paid every single month. Okay. So important for financial freedom and peace of mind. We have a business model that provides overflow income as well. So, you know, those big overflows of, you know, cash that allow us to grow, to reinvest, to give ourselves a cheeky bonus if we want to. So overflow income is like excited income in your business, because you know everything else is taken care of, and then it gets to all just be overflowing as well. It's like, I have more than enough is the kind of mentality that we want to approach in business. And then the other game changer for us in the last 12 months has been passive income streams as well. So, you know, and this ties in massively with, you know, location and time freedom as well. It's like we can still be being paid in our business even if we're not in it. We both took 2 weeks off to be with our families, completely out of the business over Christmas, and we were still getting pings with money coming in pretty much every single day over the Christmas period. So financial freedom is so important, but it's not going to happen by accident. You have to engineer financial freedom in your business. And, you know, we have a process that we take our ladies through that does exactly that. We actually reverse engineer your financial year and your goals. So you have the confidence and you feel secure and stable that the things that you're doing week on week, month on month are supporting you in your life from a financial perspective. That's all I'm going to say about it strategically. Ali could probably...
Okay. So, and over and out. Right, over to me. So energetics, it's an energetics game. Financial freedom, it really is. Yes. Okay. There's two things I really want to say, because this is a massive topic. First thing I'm going to say, that financial freedom comes from two things: masculine energy and feminine energy. If we're talking energetics, the masculine energy comes from what Em's just talked to you about. You create it intentionally. The masculine energy is that safety, that security. I'm being held. you know, like you're being wrapped around it. You create it with intention. As Emma said, we've created a model and a business that allows us to have that security and that confidence, arguably better than our, you know, our corporate income, because we're in control of it as opposed to somebody else in a big office in a big white suit. The feminine energy that I love and I love to hold women in is very much about the feminine energy and the free flowing and the feeling and the relationship that you have with money. I might say something now that might blow your mind completely, but that's okay. Financial freedom is something that you can create for yourself at any given time by using your imagination. One of my favorite things that we get women to do in our Wealth Magnet program is to imagine being fully financially free. Imagine your life as it is today, no different, but just with a fuck ton of cash in the bank. Now go around your day feeling that. Everything's taken care of. I'm financially free. Everything feels good. It's an energetic game. And then you're freeing yourself from the panic, the anxiety of it all. That's just one thing I would love for you to just like really tap into. You can feel financial freedom at any given moment that you desire. Let's flip that in another way as well. And an interesting conversation I've been having recently in Voxer is like, we all want a lot more money, okay? But I bet so many of you right now are thinking, oh my God, I've got an enormous tax bill to pay, or I've got a tax bill to pay. I don't want to pay tax. I hate paying tax. So in one sense, you're saying, I want a load of money. I want loads and loads of money. I want millions of pounds worth of money, but I don't want to pay tax. But tax is an inevitability. So what you're saying is, I want it, but I don't. So you're setting out two differing requests from the universe to the universe. So it's an energetic game. It's like, I want to have so much money that it doesn't matter about my tax bill. I love paying tax because, you know what, tax gives me so much support in my day-to-day life. You know, it pays for the freedom of our country, that kind of thing. I would also suggest that another thought is that you might just want loads and loads of money, but not necessarily does financial freedom come with lots and lots of money. Because I guarantee you, however much money, and I'll talk from experience, you know, my first salary was £24,000 a year. And I thought I was loaded. You know, I didn't have very many outgoings. It was just me, James, and, you know, having fun. And I thought I was loaded. Now we have significant levels of income coming in from lots of different sources, but we also have significant outgoings. Mm-hmm. So whatever level of income you have, there's always going to be a level of outgoing. So when are you ever truly going to be free? And what does that true level of freedom look like for you? So it is an energetic game. It's a relationship that you have with money. Money blocks, money mindset, money, money, money. It's just like, how can you fall in love with all levels of money, both receiving it and giving it and sharing it and having it and holding it and all of these different things. And it's one of the biggest topics of conversation I have with all of our clients every single day is around financial freedom and money blocks. And if this is an area that you want to feel truly free in, there's a couple of options. You can go and take our Wealth Magnet program, which is in our boutique. Go take that out. And if you want it for free, all you have to do is subscribe, write a review, and share our new podcast. You can get that for free. Go and do that. Or you can jump into any kind of Voxer container with me and let's clear up that shit around your money. Jump into my DMs.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say on financial freedom. Em, you can go on.
You know what, I think this is such a massive realization for me, is that if you can find financial freedom and peace of mind around your money where you are now, then, you know, that's going to put you in such a good place as you grow and become accustomed to handling bigger amounts of money. Because if you can't handle it where you are, imagine the stress and the anxiety that's going to come with more money, because with more money, with more income comes bigger houses, more expensive holidays, more expensive cars, more expensive this. So actually, you never feel any different. If you can't find that peace where you are now, then no amount of money is going to help you.
It's a relationship game and it's a mindset thing. The number doesn't mean any different.
Exactly that. Okay, so last but definitely not, one of the other really important parts of freedom for us was around creative freedom. So Ali and I are both incredibly creative individuals in different ways. I suppose for me, it's more around like creative vision and ideas, because that's my area of genius really, is being able to see, you know, see people's visions, see people's ideas, be able to channel creativity and play that back to them in, you know, in words, in messaging, in brand names, in movements, in all of those things. And Ali, I guess like yours is probably a bit more like literal in the sense of like your creative genius around graphic design and photography, you know, all of the things, art, like the actual visual representation of our brand. You know, we don't outsource any of that. That's all Ali's fair hand. So between us, the copywriting and the visual aspect of our brand, we do all of that in-house. In fact, we've just launched the agency. We're actually offering to do that for our clients as well, which is really interesting. If you don't have the time, inclination, or creativity, we can take that off your hands for you and do it for you. So you can have a look in our bio if that's of interest to you, and go and have a look at the agency and all the menu of options that we've got there. But like, I feel like creative freedom was really important to us to be able to, you know, do, like, we're so multi-passionate, aren't we, as individuals? There's so many things that we're excited about, that we love, that we wanted to bring into our business. And I think a lot of women struggle with this because they're so multi-passionate. And by default, us as women, we're so multifaceted as individuals anyway. There's lots of sides to us. And sometimes the pressure of deciding on one thing, one business, like, you know, is too much. It's like, well, I don't want to be put in a box. Like, I wasn't born to be 120 word bio on Instagram. That's not who I am. I'm so much more than that. And for us, we've created strategically a business model. Well, we've created a brand that allows us to bring together one multi-dimensionality and all the things that we love, but two people's multi-dimensionality and all of our passion under one roof. So we're not running multiple businesses, social pages on all different businesses. We've created a brand that's an umbrella for everything that we desire to do, to teach, to be. And it gives us that, not only the freedom of creativity, but also the freedom of growth as well. Because if you're pigeonholing yourself in a box, then you're actually restricting your growth potential as well. So for us, it's like we create a brand that can hold everything. But then we also have created a business model with our programs and services. We get to do many things. We get to be multidimensional in things that we coach in, and, you know, program in, you know, brand and personal brand mastery. There's social, you know, our savvy program. We've got content creation programs. We've got freedom coach. We've got we've got your manifest program as well, like in energetic. We've just been able to just unleash all of our creativity into one brand, but do it in a way that is not confusing for people, because it's all tied and linked together by that one brand movement that sits above everything else. So strategically, I think if you're struggling to try and niche your business, or you're not sure what to focus on because you've got all these different ideas, this comes down to your brand and how you bring all of those things into one.
From an energetic point of view, I think this ties back down to probably those three energetic wheels again. One, the desire, creative to create. What do you want to create? Creative freedom. You get to create whatever the F you want, but you can't create it unless you don't know what it is. So you've got to go back into that desire energetic wheel and ask yourself, what is it that I want, and what do I want to create? And allow yourself to have that creative freedom. But you've got to go in and find out what it is that you're going to create. Otherwise, you'll never create it.
Yeah.
The second one is the belief that I'm not creative. How many times have we heard people, but I'm not creative? Yes, you are. That's just a belief that you have. Every single human that was put on this planet had the ability to create a life, to create life. If you're a woman, we've been the ability to create that. You can create, you can paint, you can write, you can draw. But the thing is, you've got this fear, another energetic wheel, that it's not good enough. But it is. You're comparing yourself to other people. I'm not as good as them. I'm not as creative as them. I'm not doing it. It doesn't matter. You're being you. Go back to what Em was talking about right at the very beginning. This is all about you expressing yourself authentically. You know, if you're not a descriptive writer, don't be a descriptive writer. I see so many people out there putting 5 steps to doing X, Y, and Z. And I've been trying to force myself to do that. I'm like, I don't like to create or talk that way. So why am I doing it? Creative freedom. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a cookie cutter and tell you these are the 5 steps to freeing your mind. That's not me. I will tell you in stories, and I'll tell you in examples, and I will have conversations with you, and I will be creative and co-create with you what you want, just like I co-created this life, this business with with my husband, with everybody. We are all creators, and it comes back down to that belief that you are one. And that is all I have to say on that one too.
I love that. Okay, ladies, those are our 7 principles of freedom, and limitless freedom, and what it means to us, and how we've created it both strategically and energetically in our business. I hope that's offered you, I guess,
insight.
Yeah, a different insight on how we run our business, and why we, why freedom is such a massive part of everything that we do, business, our lives, and hopefully, some inspiration as like what freedom can actually look, and how do you balance all those different types of freedom off each other, and be able to achieve all of them on the level that you desire to, without sacrificing your time freedom for your financial freedom, or your emotional freedom for your financial freedom, or they all get to exist in one. And that to us is really what limitless freedom is all about, is being able to achieve all of those on the level that we want to. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I think
I've certainly enjoyed it. A little light touch.
Light touch. Yeah, it's great. As I said, this is just part 1 of our 4-part series called My Limitless Life. So we are going to be back at the same time of 11:30 next Friday here on Instagram for the next part of My Limitless Life. And we're either going to be talking limitless wealth, limitless health, or limitless happiness, to be decided. Because freedom, and we haven't decided yet which we want to do. But I think also something that, if you have loved this conversation, if you have really resonated with some of the things that we've been saying, and, freedom is something that really is like your most, like for me, it's my definition of success is freedom. It's such an important part of everything I do. And if you feel that way, if your word for 2023, or the thing that you're desiring to create more of in your life is freedom, there's a number of ways in which we can support you to do all the things that we've done strategically and energetically in our business. If you are, I don't know, maybe feeling like there's something that's not quite working in your business, and I think a lot of them we speak to, we get this, we have this conversation, don't we? Where people say, something's not quite working. There's a missing link somewhere. Like it's working, but it's not quite working to the level that I desire it to. And for us, I think one of the things that we would love to do is to help you to identify, like, where's that gap that's holding you back? Where are the opportunities that you're missing, perhaps? Where are the opportunities where potentially you are leaving money on the table that's costing you your financial freedom? That's something we would love to support you with. And Ali and I had a discussion about how we can do this and how we can support our community. And what we'd love to do over the next few weeks and through January and February is actually invite you to come and have a conversation with us about your business. So what we'll do is actually come in to a Zoom room and have a bit of a strategic review of your business, so we can help you to identify where are the gaps, where are the opportunities, where is it not working, where is it working, how can we help you to tie up any of those loose ends that are not allowing you to fulfill your limitless potential. So there's an opportunity to come and do that with us. It will be a sort of 45 minute session, and we would love to invite you to apply for one of those sessions. They are free sessions, but we are going to be asking you to apply for those sessions. So if that's something that interests you, do drop into our DMs as soon as possible, because we only have a few sessions available in the next couple of weeks. So if that's something you want to do sooner rather than later, then do not hold back.
If this is the year that you want to create limitless freedom, it's about creating it strategically and energetically. And if this is something that you desire, then this is an amazing opportunity for you to get Em's eyes on your business, because this is what helped me in my business, to really do that review of your business, because she'll be able to see what you can't see and what I couldn't see. So she's amazing at doing that. So really grab this opportunity, jump into our DMs, come in and apply. If this is the year that you want to create limitless freedom in your life, in your business, in yourself, please do come in and jump into our DMs and ask us about it. Direction, clarity, action, vision, all of those things, unwavering belief, confidence, all of the beautiful energetics that you will need in order to help you deliver that freedom. Come in and ask us, come in and grab them. I think it's an amazingly generous offer, and I'm so excited to see who's going to jump in for one of those.
I am too. I'm really excited to you know, big thing for us this year was like, how do we impact and how do we serve our clients?
More people.
And this is just something I feel incredibly called for us to do. So cannot wait to see who's going to jump on in and take us on that incredible offer. And hopefully we will see you face to face.
See you face to face. I'm going to say goodbye because I'm late for lunch and then I'm off to go and get my boys. So I'm going to love you all and leave you all. Mwah! Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Next week.